Welcome back. Thanks again for choosing Accidental Project Manager, and welcome to the first part of Module 7. The T in the project method stands for Transfer and Transform. Module 7 is based on the 7th chapter of the book, and it focuses on how to transfer your projects to the client and transform your team and organization. In this module, Part 1 is about project turnover and support. Part 2 considers how to measure the project results. Part 3 looks at team evaluations. And Part 4 considers how to conduct lessons learned to transform and improve your practice of project management. So let's get started. Every project is an opportunity to learn, to solve problems, to embrace opportunities, and transform the team. Just as gymnasts must stick their landings, project managers need to be proficient at project turnover and closeout. For most projects, what happens at the end of the project is what the client is going to remember the project manager for. When you transfer the product to the client to put into production, make sure everything is in order and delivered per the agreed requirements. Clients need to get the red glove or white glove red carpet treatment. They will feel good not just about the product or the project, but the project manager and the project team. Plan early, make sure all the work that needs to be done at the time of the project turnover is included in the milestone plan. At this point, the product should be fully tested and any known issues are documented, including any workarounds. Plan to have a full user acceptance test and document the results before the final transfer of the project takes place and is put into production. The project team and the project manager need to support the client for the first few weeks until they are comfortable. At that point, the support can transition to a support team. Training and user documentation must be completed, and there should be a client turnover meeting. Be sure to consult your manager to find out if there are any other requirements that need to be met by your organization to complete a project. Be sure all documentation is finalized. This should include all updates to the requirements and milestone plans, test plans, and other project documentation. User guides and other user documentation also needs to be completed. These will most likely be acceptance tests of the product or service specified by the client. Be sure to run each of these completely and carefully and document the results. All the support information should be included as well. If there are usernames, passwords, keys, phone numbers, etc., the information should be organized in a readable and accessible form so the client can refer to them. An important principle is that all this work should be scheduled and planned. So when you create the work breakdown, structure, and milestone plan, be sure to consider all the final documentation, training, turnover, testing, and so on in the plans. This way, there are no surprises or unplanned delays as these activities take place. Once the product has been fully tested and the documentation is complete, there should be a meeting with the client to demonstrate the product and officially turn over operation. The demonstration should be based on their acceptance criteria and tests for the project. Use this meeting to get additional client feedback and ask if there are any additional tests they may want to have performed. Plan to have a full user acceptance test and document the results before the final transfer of the project takes place and it is put into production. Final requirements and training documentation, user guides, any operational information such as roles, usernames, and passwords, and other documentation requested should be ready and provided at that meeting as well. During the transition period, be sure to provide first-class support. Coach the team on how responsive they should be and how positive they should be. Of course, some mistakes may be made, ranging from simple documentation errors to major requirements discovered to be missing. Be sure to admit the mistakes. They may or may not be your fault. Then immediately dig in to understand the issue and make necessary corrections. Be diplomatic for issues that turn out to be user error. This is also a time to continue to acknowledge the good work of the team and also the client. Let them know how much you appreciate their business and their patience through the turnover period. When the turnover is complete, get feedback on how the team did from the client. This feedback can be input to lessons learned, which we'll be looking at later in this module, and used to improve the support provided for the next project. So thanks again for choosing this course. If you have any questions, comments, or technical issues, don't hesitate to contact us at support@ppcgroup.us. In part 2 of this module, we'll look at how to measure the result and the benefit of our project. See you in the next segment soon.